I'm Lucy. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. We are going to do a little flow today for releasing tension in the glutes and the pelvic floor, for finding length in those muscles so that the pelvic floor can really relax and let go. So if you haven't practiced hypopressive before, check out the comments below and you can find out how to get started with this practice. For everyone else joining me on this flow, we're going to start on our backs for a little bit of a warm-up. So on your backs, feet hip distance apart, pelvis nice and centered. We're just going to take some pelvic tilts. We're going to inhale, tilt the pelvis down towards the feet, and exhale, tuck the pelvis under, back or flatten on the floor. We're going to inhale, pelvis tilts down towards the feet. Keep the ribs nice and still. Exhale slowly through the mouth as you tuck the pelvis under. We're going to keep inhaling as you tilt the pelvis down towards the feet. And then exhale, tucking the pelvis under. So you can go in your own time with your own breath. We all have different breathing patterns. We want to try and work on lengthening that inhale and then making the exhale twice as long as the inhale for our hypopressive rest breaths. So keep going, we're mobilising the pelvis, working the pelvic floor muscles through a range of tone. Nice. So just isolating the movement to the pelvis. So we're keeping the ribs fairly still, we're not arching through the spine. We're keeping the ribs nice and stable as we do this. Lovely. So we're just bringing some length and then some shortening into those muscles as we move the pelvis through this movement. Lovely. And then you're going to find your midpoint in between those two positions, and then we're going to roll a marble from our left hip all the way down to our right hip, and then from the right hip all the way down to the left. So we're rolling that marble, really nice. So kind of lifting up one side of the pelvis, and the other side comes down, and then we change. Lovely. Keep going with this, keep breathing, you're sticking with that lateral breathing. Really nice. Lovely, come back to centre. We're going to draw the left knee in towards the armpit, and then the right knee in towards the armpit. You're going to hold on to the front of your shins, the back of your thighs. You might be able to hold on to the soles of the feet, but whichever position you're in, we're going to work on lengthening your tailbone down towards the floor. So we don't want to be curled up like this in spinal flexion. We want nice lengthened spine, nice neutral pelvis, drawing that pelvis on that tailbone down towards the floor. We're finding length in the spine, length in the glutes, length in the pelvic floor. Nice. Stay here and just breathe into the back of the ribs. So really nice deep breath all the way down into the earth. Lovely. Keep going with that. Using every inhale to lengthen those muscles even more. Nice. Making this your last breath. Lovely. We're going to bring the feet at least mat distance apart, so nice and wide with the feet. We're going to dorsiflex the feet. We're going to bring the hands down by our sides in a low upside down V position. And we're just going to drop the knees in towards the centre and then back out again. Knees are going to come in towards the centre and then they're going to come out again. Nice. Just keep going with that. Do a couple more. And then we're going to do it with the hypopressive breathing. So we're going to inhale, drop the knees in. Exhale slowly through the mouth as you bring the knees out. Inhale, drop the knees in. And exhaling softly and slowly through the mouth as you bring the knees out. Inhale, drop the knees in. Exhale slowly through the mouth as you bring the knees out. We're going to hold the breath out, pause, slowly open your ribs. Draw the heels back towards you without moving them. Keeping with that neutral pelvis. Lovely. And then breathing in when you're ready. We can step the feet in a little closer now, keeping them still fairly kind of centered in the mat, drawing those heels back towards us. We're going to inhale, draw the right knee in, exhaling slowly through the mouth to release it back down. Inhale, drawing the left knee in, and exhale slowly through the mouth, placing it back down. Inhale, drawing the knee in, exhale slowly through the mouth, placing it back down. You're going to hold your breath out, pause, slowly open the ribs here. Nice. Holding it here for as long as you can. And then breathing in whenever you're ready. We're going to inhale, left knee in. Exhale slowly through the mouth as you place that foot back down. Nice and slowly with that exhale. Inhale, right knee draws in. And exhaling slowly through the mouth as you place that down. Inhale, left knee draws in. Exhale slowly through the mouth as you place it down. We're going to hold the breath out, pause, open the ribs, draw those heels towards you, keep those feet dorsiflexed, looking up at the ceiling, and then breathing in whenever you're ready. Really nice. You're going to roll over onto your side. We're going to come up into our all fours position, into our Gaia position. Hands facing towards each other. Hands can be as wide as the mat. We're spreading the mat apart with those hands. Toes are tucked under at the back. Hands are underneath the shoulders. Knees are underneath the hips. Always a really hard one for me to get right. And then we are having a slight lumbar curve, so a slight curve in that lower spine. So pelvis neutral. Now when you're ready, we're going to draw the feet out to the side on the inhale and then bring them back into centre. So when you're ready, we're going to inhale, feet come out. Exhale slowly through the mouth, feet come back in. Inhaling, feet come out. And exhale softly and slowly through the mouth, feet coming back in. Inhaling, feet coming out. Exhale slowly through the mouth, feet are coming in. You're going to hold the breath out, pause, slowly open the ribs. Holding it here for as long as you can. Still drawing the mat apart with those hands. Breathing in when you're ready. We're going to come into some rocking now. We're going to rock back on the inhale and forward on the exhale. You're going to push into your hands and your arms to rock yourself back. And then exhale, you're going to draw yourself forwards. Inhale, pushing into the hands to rock yourself back. And exhale, slowly through the mouth to come forwards. Right, we're not rocking back so far that the pelvis tucks under. We're coming forwards before that point. We're keeping the sit bones shining towards the back wall. So exhaling to come forwards. We're holding the breath out, pausing, and then opening the ribs here. Holding it here for as long as you can. And then breathing in whenever you're ready. Really nice. Drop the elbows down to where the hands are now. And we're going to do the same thing with the feet. So we're going to spread the mat apart with the forearms. And then we're going to inhale, feet come out. Exhale slowly through the mouth, the feet come back in. Inhaling, feet come out. And exhale softly and slowly through the mouth, feet are coming back in. Inhale, feet come out. Exhale slowly through the mouth, feet come back in. We hold the breath out, pause, slowly open those ribs. Really nice. Holding it here for as long as you can. And then breathing in whenever you're ready. Lovely. We're going to come back up onto the hands now. We're going to come into our Callisto position on our apnea. So when you're ready, we're going to inhale all the way around the ribs. Exhale slowly through the mouth. Inhaling into the ribs. And exhale softly and slowly. Inhale, ribs expand. Exhale slowly through the mouth. Pause, open the ribs, push into the hands, lift the hips up, keep the weight of the shoulders over the hands. Holding it here for as long as you can. And then breathing in whenever you're ready. Hands face forwards, coming into a downward facing dog. But really take a big bend in the knees. Draw the chest back towards the thighs. Open those sit bones. And then we're going to just step in towards the hands, taking a forward fold, bending the knees as much as you need to. Bring the feet nice and wide as your mat. And let the sit bones really open up. Bend the knees a little bit more. So we're getting that length through the glutes, through the pelvic floor muscles. You're going to take some breaths here. And then when you're ready, we're going to inhale at the bottom. We're going to exhale, bend the knees, bring the hands to the hips and come up. Nice. We're going to come into our Artemis position now. So bring your pinky fingers into the hip crease. We're going to lift up and over those pinky fingers, lengthening through the spine, shining the sit bones towards the back wall. Feet are hip distance apart and parallel. Heels of the hands come to the top of the thighs. Nice natural curve in the lumbar spine. Ribs are stacked over the pelvis. Nice. We're going to inhale all the way around the ribs. And exhale slowly through the mouth. Inhaling into the ribs. Balance point is forwards. And then exhale softly and slowly through the mouth. Shoulders down, away from the ears. Inhaling into the ribs. Exhaling slowly through the mouth. Pause here. Slowly open those ribs. Really nice. Holding it here for as long as you can. And then breathing in whenever you're ready. Nice. We're going to come up to standing. We're going to come into some squats with internal rotation. And then we're going to put an apnea on the end. So you're going to start with your feet hip distance. A little bit wider actually than hip distance. And we're going to move the outside edge of the feet, so the heels are going to slide out, knees are going to come in as we come into a little bit of a squat. We're then going to come back up to standing for our apnea with the balance point forwards and do our apnea at the top here. So we're going to bring the hands into first, hands facing forwards, thumbs down, round that big beach ball. Nice. We're going to inhale, come down. Exhale slowly through the mouth to come up. Inhale, coming down, knees coming, feet come out. Exhale slowly through the mouth to come back up. Inhale, coming down. Exhale slowly through the mouth, come back up. Balance point forwards, everything's stacked. Holding the breath out, pausing, and then opening the ribs. Holding it here for as long as you can. Listening to that conversation behind you. Breathing in when you're ready. Giving the arms a bit of a shake off. Nice. We're going to bring the feet nice and wide. And then we're going to take a forward fold. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Keep those sit bones nice and open. We're just going to bend into the right knee. Straightening the left leg. Then we're going to switch sides. You're going to inhale fully. And exhale nice and slowly. Keep going with this. Finding length through the glutes, through the inner thighs and the pelvic floor muscles. Lovely. And then coming back to centre, just walking your feet in towards each other. Bend the knees, inhale at the bottom, exhale to come back up. Really nice, everyone. That's our practice complete. If you can subscribe, like, comment, that would be really appreciated. And as I said before, if you haven't learned Hypopressives before, if you want to go deeper, then read the comments below or the description below, or get in touch with me and we can have a chat.